Hello children, welcome to our class. Now chapter 7, alternating current. See, we have so far considered direct current sources and circuits with DC sources. See, these currents do not change direction with time. Right, see, this is DC current. This do not change with time. Directions won't change. But voltages and currents that vary with time is very common. Right. See, the electric main supply in our homes and offices, in our school, as a voltage that varies like a sine function with time. See what you are seeing in this diagram. So it contains the direction, change with the direction. Such a voltage is called alternating voltage, and the current driven by it in a circuit which is called alternating current. See, today most of the electrical devices we use require AC voltage. This is mainly because most of the electrical energy sold by power companies is transmitted and distributed as alternating current only. The main reason for preferring use of AC voltage over DC voltage is that AC voltages can be easily and efficiently converted from one voltage to the other voltages, that means of transformers. Right. Further, the electrical energy can also be transmitted economically over long distances. AC circuits exhibits characteristics which are exploited in many devices in our daily uses, right? So because of these convenient reasons, we are switch over and using the alternating current and alternating voltages, right? See, the current which varies in magnitude continuously and reverses its direction periodically, which is nothing but I, which is equal to I naught sin omega t. We can see AC voltage applied to a resistor. See the diagram. See, it shows a resistor which connected to a source EMF of AC voltage. The symbol for an AC source is the circuit of the diagram, which shows not direct line. It's like a direct line, it shows means this is DC. Okay, this is for the DC. This is the symbol for an AC source. We consider a source which produces sinusoidally varying potential differences across its terminals. Okay. See, now the potential differences we can call it as the voltage, which is given by V, which is equal to, we can take it, V naught sin omega t. Okay. See, where V naught is the amplitude of the oscillating potential difference and this omega, which is the angular frequency. See, to find the current through the resistor, we have to apply the Kirchhoff's rule. What is Kirchhoff's second rule? That loop rule, which is a summation of EMF time, which is equal to 0. EMF, summation of EMF, which is equal to EV, which is equal to 0. That we are applying to this circuit, we'll get this V naught sin omega t, which is equal to IR. So V is equal to IR, from that we got it. Or we can write this as I, which is equal to B naught by R sin omega t. Right. Since R is constant, we can write this equation as I, which is equal to I naught sin omega t. By that way it came the current which varies in magnitude continuously and reverses its direction periodically what we said, where the current amplitude which is equal to I naught, right? So we can write the I naught which is equal to V naught by R. Is it right? Yes. See, from the equation we can get, it is just Ohm's laws which for resistor works equally well for both AC and DC voltages. See, the voltage across a pure resistor and the current through it. See the graph. By plotting this graph, you can note that both V and I reaches 0. Minimum and maximum values at the same time, right? So from that clearly we know that the voltage and the current are in the same pace with each other. Is it right? So we see that like the applied voltage, the current varies sinusoidally and has corresponding positive and the negative values during each cycle. So we can say the sum of the instantaneous current values over one complete cycle which is equal to 0, and also the average current is 0. So we can see the fact that the average current, how it's 0 by deriving it, right? See, the alternating current at any instant, what we said, the given by I which is equal to I naught sine omega t. So assuming that the current remains constant for small time dt also, and then the amount of charge that flowing through the circuit, what it will be, small time and the small charge of, the charge which flow through the conductor. So dq which is equal to I dt, right? We can write, yes. So which we can take I instead of I naught sine omega t into dt, right? See, for the total charge that flows through the circuit for the one complete cycle, how it comes to 0 we can see. Q which is equal to integration of dq which is equal to integration of 0 to t for one complete cycle, right? So that I naught sine omega t into dt here, which is equal to I naught, integrating it. So integration of sine omega t minus cos omega t by omega. So applying the limit 0 to t, you will get the value of I naught by, you can write this 2 pi by t, and you will get the applying limit to, instead of that omega t we can apply this. So cos 2 pi by t into t, right? 0 to t. Now which is equal to I naught t by 2 pi. This minus will come. So right. So applying the limit, upper limit minus lower limit. So cos 2 pi minus cos 0. Then you will get minus I naught t by 2 pi. So cos 2 pi, the value 1 minus this 1, which is equal to 0. So I average, what it will come? I average is equal to q by t is equal to 0. So from this we can understand for the average value of AC over one complete circuit which is equal to 0. One complete cycle which is equal to 0. So we got average current which is 0. The fact that the average current which is 0, but does not mean the average power consumed is 0, and that there is no dissipation of electrical energy. See, as you know that Joule heating is given by, what is the value? Yes, I square R, and it depends on I square, not on I. So that there is joule heating and dissipation of electrical energy when an AC current passes through a resistor. We'll see what is the value of the power dissipating with the help of root mean square. The value of the root mean square, or the effective current, denoted by IRMS. By deriving it, we can get it. Right. See, a root mean square, which is nothing but the current which produces the same heating effects in a given resistor as is produced by a given alternating current when passes for same. That we can say what? Denoted by IRMS, or else we can say I voltage, or we can say by I effective value of AC. So whatever they asked, you have to write this derivation for that. So suppose an alternating current I, which is equal to I naught sin omega t, that is passed through a circuit of resistance R, then the amount of heat produced in a small time, we can take the dH, which is equal to I square R T, that is dt for the small time. Then if capital T is the time period of AC, then for the one complete cycle, the heat produced for one complete cycle, H, which is equal to 0 to T, integration of 0 to T, I square R into dt. So we can take I effects is the effective value of this one. Then we can take the heat produced in time t, the whole cycle, H, which is equal to I square effective R T. So if suppose I effects square RT, which is equal to integration of 0 to T I square R into dt, or we can write this as I square effects, which is equal to 1 by T integration of 0 to T I square into dt. Is it right? So, but we know that 1 by T of this integration of 0 to T I square dt means the squares of the instantaneous value for one complete cycle. So we can write this equals its root mean square. So we can write the value of the root mean square. So we will write I effective, which is equal to IRMS, which is equal to root of 1 by T integration of 0 to T I square dt. Right? So now we'll get the answer for this I effective finally. So integration of 0 to T I square dt, which is equal to 0 to T integration of 0 to T I naught. Instead of I, we are applying I naught square sine square omega t into dt. So that we can write that is equal to I square naught integration of 0 to T, that integrating that sine square omega, which is equal to 1 minus cos 2 omega t by 2, the formula. So sine square omega t of integration of sine square omega t, which is 1 minus cos 2 omega t by 2 is the formula we applied here. So now applying the limits, that limit work we will do. Okay, so that is nothing but I naught square by 2 into t minus sine 2 omega t by 2 omega, by differentiating 1 minus cos 2 omega t by 2, that we will get 1, differentiating this, integrating 1, that is t minus cos 2 omega t sine 2 omega t by 2 omega. Okay, 0 to t. So that is equal to I naught square by 2. So applying that upper limit minus lower limit, t minus 0 minus, applying here, we'll get 1 by 2 omega of sine 4 pi by t into t. Okay, 0 to t. Got it? So it is equal to I naught square by 2 into t minus 1 by 2 omega into sine 4 pi minus sine 0, right? So that it is equal to I naught square by 2, so into t minus this part fully 0, right? So sine 0, 0, I naught square t by 2. So what it will come, I effective of, or we can say IRMS value, it is equal to 1 by root 2 into I naught, or which is equal to 0 point, the value 707 into I naught. Okay, so the effective or RMS value of an AC is 1 by root 2 times of the peak value, right? Thank you, children.